Hi everyone, this is Isabel from Metareal, here to talk to you about a new way to join panoramas together using Metareal Stage. It's called interactive alignment. As you can see, we have the snap tool selected, and we have two modes now, snap mode, the old mode, and interactive mode. And I much prefer this new one compared to this one because honestly, I'm bad at this one. And using interactive mode, I'm able to make everything line up much faster. And the results are so much neater. But before we get into that though, let's just go through a quick review of the old method, snapping. So here we have our room. As you can see, we have two panoramas making up this room. This is our reference panorama. Let's just switch back to that for a bit. So it's our main panorama, and as you can see, I already have everything built here, the floor, the walls, the volumes, everything. So all that's left to do is to snap our panoramas together. Let's switch back to here. So you see we already have snap mode selected. Now what we need to do is find 3 floor points in our geometry and match them with the corresponding floor point in the panorama. So first we're going to do a quick scan of our room. If you go back to our reference, we'll see that this volume here is the bench. So this floor point should match this floor point, and switching back, so this one should be there. So let's just click there and put it there. And this one is around here. And let's add another one around here. Okay, so that's it. Pretty decent first try, but it's not perfect, right? This doesn't match very well. Yeah, this doesn't match either. If we blend between the two panoramas, there's a not extremely big but noticeable difference between the two. And if we move between them, yeah, you don't really notice the distortion, but it's there. Like, can you see the sort of flickering between the two panos? Keep your eye here. Yep, it moved. Okay, so of course we can make that better. Go back to snapping and let's adjust the floor points, make it a bit more lined up. So yeah, this is going to take time. Honestly, I'm not very good at it, like I said. So it can get pretty frustrating for me, especially if, we have a lot of panos here and we have to align each one to the reference. So that can get really frustrating really quick. And that was the old method and only method of snapping panoramas before Beta 10. Now, we have the interactive mode. So to use that, we just need to click this one. Right, so you'll notice that our panorama isn't aligned again. It removed all the snap points, so we're back to square one. That's going to happen every time you switch between the two modes. So for example, if you're done here and then you switch back to snap, that's going to erase everything you did in interactive mode and vice versa. So be careful about that if you don't want to erase your progress. Now, going back here, right, so as written here, this mode only works in plan view. So if you try using it and it's not working, make sure that you're here first. Right, so now first we'll need to move the panorama until one of the floor points in the panorama matches with the corresponding point in the geometry. So again, as we know, this one is the bench. So this floor point should be this one. So let's just move the panorama. As you can see, it says here drag to move, and I can activate that by pressing this button or clicking M, and I can just press escape if I want that to disappear. So again, back. Let's select that again. Moving until the floor point matches and the corner matches with the geometry. Okay, so that's the first step done. And now what we need to do is to rotate the panorama until everything aligns. So to do that, we're going to click rotate panorama, or we can also click R if you want to activate it. Right, so you'll notice that there's this new pivot point that's appeared in the editor. That's the point where the rotation is going to be centered around. So for example, if I click here and drag, you'll notice that everything rotates around the pivot point. But you can drag the pivot point, it doesn't have to be there. You can make it rotate around here if you want, but I like it back there, so I'm going to press undo. So dragging this back, and now I'm going to rotate my panorama until this point matches this point. Just like that. Whoop. Making sure that the floor lines up. And that's it. See? That's so much quicker and everything's lined up much nicer, right? If you go back to panorama view and you move between the panoramas, yep, everything's much neater. But you can still improve this. The nice thing about interactive mode is you can be really precise with your alignment. So again, let's go back to plan view. You'll notice, for example, this little box, it's not that aligned compared with the other volumes. That's because this panorama isn't at the same height as this one. So the scale is going to be a little bit different. But that's okay, we can adjust that. So to do that, let's click rotate panorama again. But this time, instead of just clicking and dragging, what I'm going to do is hold down the shift key and then click and drag. So you'll notice that it's not just rotating now, it's actually changing the scale of the panorama, making it bigger or smaller compared to the geometry. And in that way, we can move it until it fits. So see, now it's perfectly matched. And when we go back to panorama view and we check out what it looks like blend together. Yep, there's hardly any movement between volumes. When we click here, and yep, the movement's much more neat and lifelike. And that's it for our new interactive mode. So this isn't its final form yet. This is just the first iteration. We're planning to keep improving this mode as we get more feedback from our users. So if you have any suggestions on how to make this better, just write it down in the comments below or send us a chat here. Someone's always available. Just click here, new conversation, and yep, we'd love to hear from you. So that's it. See you on our next video and happy tour building.